Hello everyone, this is Lino Tados from the Training Boss, and in this video we're going to talk about how to include SVG images inside of Sitefinity. So let's go ahead and get started. So in case you want to follow the instructions on the Sitefinity documentation, to be able to enable SVGs actually in the site everywhere, the first thing you want to do is to go to the administration here on your website. We'll click on settings, and we will go ahead and click on the advanced portion of the settings itself, all the way at the top there. And then on the left side, go down till you see the word libraries. So we're going to go down to the L's, there is libraries. And the first one there is images. And you will notice these are the built-in extensions allowed, like GIF, JPEG, PNGs, WebPs, and BMPs. You will need to first of all add the SVG in here. First of all, I would also like to remove BMP. I don't ever use BMPs on my website, so I'll say .svg instead of the BMP one, so we can do both at the same time. And I'm going to say save the changes. Once you've done that, it will say it was successful. SVG will be in there. While you're here, you might want to check one more thing just to make sure it is correct. You see where it says My Mappings on the left side there? Make sure that SVG is pointing to SVG plus XML. So go down. Usually it's in there. If not, you need to add it. But we would like to see if SVG is here somewhere. I believe it is. There it is. There is SVG. Let's go ahead and here on the left side so I can see what is it pointing to. And that is exactly what it needs to be pointing to. Image/SVG plus XML. If this is not here, just click on My Mappings, click on the Create button and create a .svg, and the MIME type has to look exactly like that, image/SVG XML. Excellent. Now let's go ahead and take a look what is going to happen when I try to create a brand new library and start uploading SVG files. I'm going to go back to the default for the dashboard in here, and I'm going to go to Content, and I'm going to create my new library. Click on Content, click on Images, and in here I'm going to say create a new library. We can give it whatever name. I'm going to call it SVGs with an S right there. We'll say create. And I'm going to go ahead and find maybe one or two different SVGs on my machine in here to upload. We'll say upload images. And we'll upload from my own computer. And here we'll hopefully find a couple. Yeah, there is an on-demand SVG and there is a passionate SVG. These are good enough for me. We'll say open. And I want you to see what's going to happen now when I say upload and publish. We'll say upload and publish. And immediately you're going to see there is a processing of HTTP error. And even if you open up the logs, and a lot of people are actually mentioning this in the forum for Sitefinity, is that even though I said everything correctly, unfortunately I am not able to upload any SVGs to my library. I keep getting this processing of the HTTP error that keeps showing up. And no matter how many you try, it will not work, and then you'll have to close and nothing has been loaded. Notice the images for SVG's library is completely empty as well. And the reason for that, folks, is because the application has to be restarted. So if you're running this in localhost, for instance, that's fine. You need to shut down Visual Studio, for instance, and restart the application pool again. Otherwise, this will not work. Changes to the libraries for the MIME types and the type of extensions that you're going to be allowing requires a full restart of the application. So in my case, for instance, I'm doing this on my own website that's live, it's running in Azure. I have to go to my portal in Azure and I have to restart the application from there. Or the easiest way to do it is just to go into your web.config file, put a space somewhere and save the file. And the next time somebody hits the website, because the web.config have changed, it will automatically restart the entire application and the application pool as well. So either way, you will have to restart the application. Otherwise, you will continue getting that HTTP error all the time. And the important things really that you have to understand from reading the documentation, says you will have to restart the application, but they don't tell you which application. They are not talking about actually the .NET Core application or the Next.js application, which is the render itself. No, when you make that change, the CMS itself has to be restarted. So I went in here, for instance, to my portal for Microsoft Azure. I went to find out exactly where my CMS itself is running, not the render. And I had to click on restart in here to make this happen. All right, so I just restarted. It took about a minute. And now if I go back to my content, click on images, I'll go back to my empty SVGs library. And I'm going to go ahead and try to upload a couple of images in here as well. So let's go ahead and click on that. Let's say there is an SVG file in here, and maybe we'll find another one. There you go, fun in here as well. So I'm going to say open. So these are two SVG files. Of course, it's a good idea to give them some alternative text in here. So I'm going to say upload, and this time I'm not going to get the HTTP error that everybody is getting. This will be done, and now I have two SVGs that can scale up and down without losing any resolution as well. So SVGs are great for that. Just you have to make sure you keep the sanitization for SVGs and Sitefinity on, because as you know, it's pure XML and you can embed JavaScript inside of there. If you have an SVG that has JavaScript embedded, like maybe in the picture you have a button that people can click and do something, that's not going to be allowed out of the box. You can turn off the sanitization for SVGs. I definitely do not recommend it. That will make your website vulnerable for people uploading SVGs with malicious code in it. So keep the sanitization. I think you'll be in pretty good shape as well. So there are my two SVGs. Now I can go ahead and use it on any page or in my CSS and so on and so forth. Now let's go ahead and open up one of the pages. For instance, I'll open up the test page. And let's say, for instance, I'm going to go ahead and let me remove this one in here. We'll say delete this widget. And instead of this, I'm going to just put a regular widget at the bottom. We'll say add a widget, and we'll go straight to content. There is my content block. When I create the content, notice I can actually go click on the image library, and I should be able to see my two SVGs right there. Let's use the fun SVG. We'll use selected, and you can see it will show up here right away. If I take a look at the HTML, notice it's pointing to a fun.svg, and here's directly from the database, and everything will be working fine. Hopefully this was useful to you. Please like and subscribe to my Sitefinity playlist here on YouTube, and I look forward to creating more videos for you in the future. Thank you so much.